as it were. Quick, somebody say something.
Something.
Well, I'm going to eat another chip, which means I'm going to mute.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. We have to fill time now. There we go. We'll fill some time.
I'm not going to.
While
I
Chewie fills his mouth.
I refuse to support this, whatever this is we're doing, so.
I have an idea.
Hi, my name's Chewie, and I'm going to fill some time by filling my mouth.
Jesus.
Oh my god, who was that? It sounded just like me.
It was you.
All right.
Absolutely it was.
You guys are weird.
Yeah.
Have you met us before today?
It might have been a long time ago, but try to remember. Okay.
Oh, so we're all on the same page then.
You see, chat, I muted in OBS, but not in Discord, so that you couldn't hear me, but they could. In case you're wondering what Mike just responded to, I was talking. That was deliberate. I'm muting again. You guys are really bad at keeping chat entertained while I eat chips. You know that, right?
Well, you forgot to ask this time. You wanted to ask nicely. We'll be willing to help you out.
Hey, everybody, look at Dirk.
This is me. I'm a dancing. Woo!
Oh my god. Dang, I didn't mean. Shut up, phone.
Oh, I also finished Korra, Legend of Korra, last week.
Oh, good.
I really need to go back and watch, like, finish season 3. I think I watched 2 episodes before I got distracted by other things. Even though Bill and Clues both assured me that was probably the best season. I went, nice. And then never watched it. Bad at this game. Oh well.
Oh well.
That has probably been long enough recording. So here we go. Everybody good?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Dirk subbed with Prime. Yay, Prime, Dirk.
Yay.
Dirk Prime. Oh,
Quick, somebody sign a petition to get Dirk off of Netflix.
Damn it, Dirk. Get off of Netflix. Okay, here we go. Ow, jam. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is, I think, episode 617 of the Mana Pool. At least I hope it is, because otherwise last week was a lie, and the week before that was a lie, and there's no telling how many have been a lie in a row.
Ooh, how deep does this rabbit hole go?
Right? Also, since people like preview episodes, I want to get this out of the way quickly, in case you didn't listen to last episode, because Magic Legends, I don't care about that, so I'm not going to listen to that episode, which happens. If those of you that are listening to this in podcast form, please look at the RSS feed that you are subscribed to, because if it's the feeds.feedburner.com/themanapool, I think, if it's the FeedBurner feed, please change it to the Libsyn feed. The link is down in the description. It's on all the YouTube videos. It's in everything. It's themanapool.libsyn, libsyn.com/RSS. Because soon, very soon, that FeedBurner feed will no longer update anymore. But the Libsyn feed will. So we need you to swap over. So if you'd like to continue listening, please do that. Okay? Okay.
Got it.
Good.
Good.
So, I am Chewie, the lead dork. I just wanted to get that out of the way as soon as possible. I'm Chewie, the lead dork, and I got these other dorks. Hi, dorks.
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm the lead Rambler Tangent Master of the group. And I don't know that my major would transfer to one of the schools of Strixhaven, so maybe I'm undecided. In the live stream, they said today that in the lore, you literally have the entire first year of your studies there before you have to pick one of your schools. So I'm a noob. Hi, I'm a noob. I'm undecided.
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy. I'm the game lore guy. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think about my majors. It'd be huh.
I mean, it'd be
It'd be a
Quandrix,
bit
wouldn't
of
it?
I guess it'd be a strange crossover between Quandrix and Lorehold. When I think about it. But yeah, so I'd have some deciding to do.
Mm.
Or maybe I'd just be like, it was mostly Quandrix for my first 3 years, and I'd switch over to a minor and Lorehold during my last year. Just add it in there. Just
And I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed greenest man alive and moral compass of the group. And I think for mine would have been Witherbloom,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
science and all that. Although there are times when I'm like, Quandrix may have had thrown a little bit of Quandrix in there and everything, because math and stuff like that with chemistry and physics.
Yeah.
Would have splashed a little blue.
But you also really liked history, right? Like you would
Oh,
just
absolutely.
flip on the History Channel, just sit and watch it before it was all about aliens. So even Lorehold.
That's true.
Aliens
Because that
and
was, for
Pawn
the
Stars.
longest time, that's what I wanted to be, was a paleontologist, and then I was going to be a history major until, like my sophomore year. My intention was to be a history major.
Also, hey Magnor, thank you for gifting that sub. Who got it? Crater Gaming got it. Yay! So I'm pretty firmly in Quandrix, right?
Yeah.
Like physics is just applied mathematics, and that's what Quandrix is, right? It's just applied in a different
Although
a different axis.
although now for your career, you're much closer to Prismari because you're a content creator, you're an entertainer.
True.
And I guess looking back, yeah, I don't know really why I blanked, because Silver Quill, because whether I'm a lawyer or an English major, yeah. I looked over, I was like, I don't know, but I'm like, yeah, that's clearly the best fit.
So, yeah, today, Thursday the 25th, a big thing happened. The new Hearthstone core set came out. But that's not what we're talking about. So today, Thursday the 25th of March 2021, a big thing happened. Arena came out on iOS.
Yeah, it did. And after searching for it in the iOS store for way too long, turns out you need a colon. I downloaded it. So,
Now, people are going to ask, how is it?
How was it?
oh, it's fine. I mean, it's Arena. It's Arena, but it's on my phone. Arguably, it runs better on my phone than it did on my desktop. So, but the desktop is fairly bare bones. So, it's fine.
Somewhat ancient.
Yeah.
So it,
So is that what we're talking about today?
well, I mean, for a second, yeah, because like I said, people are going to ask. So how did it feel on the phone? Like the UI and
very intuitive.
Was it too busy or anything like that?
No, I think it's good. I had to learn where, like, so when you play on Windows, your icon is in the middle of the bottom of the screen, and your opponent is at the middle of the top of the screen, and that's also where you go to click on your face to emote. as well as when you attack, like you select them versus one of their planeswalkers or whatever. But here, the faces are over to the side. But then when I went to go target my opponent with a direct damage spell, and I tried to click over there, all it would do would let me mute his emotes. So I actually had to click on basically in the middle where the life total is. So minor thing, but other than one or two adjustments like that, felt like playing Arena. It felt very intuitive. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, for anyone that's trying to find it on the App Store, apparently you have to search for Magic: The Gathering Arena
yeah,
in order to find it.
Yeah, you'd think just doing a search for those words would be enough without the colon, and it's not, and I don't know why, but that is a fact. So
Good job, App Store.
I kept thinking, oh well, it'll be up any time now. Turns out it had been up for a while. So woo, but I got it now. So hopefully everybody else learns from me.
Yeah, that, like I said before the show, that was a common complaint I saw on Twitter today was, how the hell do I find this damn game? Which I find hilarious. And no, before it gets asked again, I'm not going to be playing Arena, even though it's on my phone now. Because it's not on my phone, because I'm not going to download it. So, not sorry. But okay, so something big happened today. On Thursday, 25th of March, 2021. It turns out that today was when the Strixhaven previews, or the big preview stream or whatever, officially happened. And now we have a mechanics article and all of that good stuff.
Now, I got thinking about this.
That's never safe.
I never saw a little animated trailer, which they've been doing those for a while. Remember the really excellent one for War of the Spark with Liliana, and we all remarked how good quality it was, and the one for Throne of Eldraine, and they've been doing those every time. And I don't remember seeing one. It wasn't featured on the live stream, and I watched the whole thing. So that was weird. I don't know. Somebody in the chat let me know if I missed it somewhere.
Was there one for Korra? I don't remember there being one.
Yeah, it was the green planeswalker chick with the big monster.
Oh,
you're right.
Yes. Vivian, yeah. Is that her name? This is how much Magic I haven't played. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, Vivian Reed, yeah.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, there's that one. And then what's the most recent set? There was definitely the one for Zendikar, because it had Nahiri being all like,
I think that was the most recent one.
No, there was
Theros Beyond Death. Did we already say that?
Not yet, but
that is definitely not recent, is it?
Kaldheim was the most recent.
There you go.
Kaldheim, and there was one for that.
There was? I never watched that one. Huh. Bad at this game.
Okay. Anyway, so I only meant to make that like a small note, but I did watch the actual thing, and now we've got a mechanics article and some preview cards.
Yay!
Hey.
So yeah, as always, start with the mechanics, because that's where we start. Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently, Strixhaven takes place on the plane of Arcavios. Arcavios? I don't know how you say it.
Arcavios, I think.
I'll say you were listening. You should know this.
I didn't take notes. It's one of those two, yeah. And it's a brand new plane. And apparently, there's it's very abundant in Magic. It's a bit like Zendikar, and it's full of like interesting and diverse creatures. So, but and apparently getting accepted to Strixhaven is very well known on the plane. Getting accepted there is a big deal. It's like getting into Ivy League here in the States. So, or what do they have in England? Oxford? Is Oxford in England? I think Oxford's, or Britain. I don't know. Anyway, so
Yale? Is there a Yale? Harvard? Is there a Harvard? I don't know where these places are.
That's why I said Ivy League. That. Okay, so shall we talk about things that I do know about? Like,
I mean, we can try.
This first mechanic, honestly, I thought was very interesting. So the first new mechanic is you're gonna learn because you're in school, and it's just literally the word learn. And I thought that's interesting. And what it is a card that says learn when that learn happens. Either when if it's on a sorcery or instant, it'll just say learn, possibly do something else as well. Or when a creature enters the battlefield, you learn or whatever. What you do is you either what is the word for it's not loot, is it rummage? The red
Rummage,
you discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw a card. Or you may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand. And a lesson is just it's an instant or sorcery, and it has the subtype lesson. So let's go ahead and do one of those first. The one in the mechanics article is a colorless lesson card. It is Expanded Anatomy. It's a sorcery. It's common. And it says put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. It gains vigilance until end of turn. I'm not sure how making a frog bigger gives it vigilance. Maybe it just can see further. It doesn't need to tap to attack. But so if you forget the fact that this is a lesson, it is just a colorless sorcery. Get 2+1/+1 counters on something, and vigilance return. That's fine. Because it's colorless, it fits in all sorts of decks. But because it has lesson, then if it is in your sideboard or just you own it outside the game, when you play a card that has learn, you can go ahead and put Expanded Anatomy right into your hand. And there are several lessons. We've seen a couple so far, and I love the versatility that this brings to the game. I think it's really cool. Does someone want to actually say what this other card does that has learn on it? Or should I just cover that real quick too? It's pretty straightforward.
Sure. The first day of class is a red instant. It's common, costs 1 and a red. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains haste until end of turn. And you learn.
You do learn.
You don't learn. Okay, let's be clear. You don't learn whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn. The learn part is a completely separate ability on the card.
Yeah, there's a line break and everything.
Yeah, it doesn't even say you learn. It just says learn. Like I just picture a teacher looking at you and just saying, learn. Learn what? Well, learn Expanded Anatomy. Oh, okay. So, first day of class, everybody's rushing to get there, right? Because nobody wants to be late on the first day. It bothers me to be late. I hate being late for stuff. So
you get used to
it. So I think this is a really interesting idea. And it's going to be really cool, especially in limited, because then you can keep the lessons in your sideboard, and depending on how many, it's that question of how many learn triggers do you have versus how many lessons do you have. But as they note here, there is absolutely no rule saying you can't just put a instant or sorcery that happens to be a lesson into your regular main deck, into your library. So when you build your deck, so it's not like you have to rely on learn.
That's a question that I have seen in like 4 in the chat now, 5 different places today. Is can you put lessons in your main deck? Well, yeah. Why wouldn't you? There's that would be something they let off with.
Yeah.
It would say that on the card somewhere.
It would absolutely say it on the card. And keep in mind, they don't like creating subtypes with rules baggage. That's why walls now all have defender. So, and even companion cards have the ability word or keyword. I'm never entirely sure. Companion, and it spells it out. So There's nothing here that says you could not have them. And in fact, it actually specifically says in the paragraph under expanded anatomy, you can also include lessons in your main deck, just like any other instant or sorcery.
Yeah.
So
it just trips
I've
me
also
out that so many people ask that, and I'm like, that's not a question that would have ever occurred to me to ask.
Well, I mean, I think other games might have a mechanic like that where they only live in some special deck outside the game. We even had that to a lesser extent in Unstable with the contraption deck. And I've also seen people making references to the mechanic called Forbidden that was tested for one of the original Innistrad block sets, either those or Avacyn Restored, that didn't work out. And that this is a version of it where they took out some of the nonsense, where the card can be in your deck instead of only being allowed to live in that live outside the game.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah. And no, but honestly, one of the reasons I wanted to lead with explaining what the lesson looked like is because when I was watching the live stream, they started talking about learn, and it was a little while before they showed a lesson, so it was kind of hard to conceptualize. And you kind of thought, in my head, I'm like, oh, does this have a different border? What does a lesson look like? So I kind of, like Mike said with contraptions, I kind of pictured all sorts of things. This is going to be a token. What's this going to look like? And then they showed not this, but a different lesson. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. And in the live stream, they never actually addressed that question. So I don't blame people for bringing it up right now, because I think that they dropped the ball a bit by not answering that earlier.
That's a miss on their part if they didn't go ahead and call it out during the stream.
But I
maybe
think
the fact that I didn't watch the stream was better, because I just read learn and went, what is that? And it's a subtype. Oh, and that's where my brain stopped. I was like, cool.
But I have to say, otherwise it ran really well. And I do like the fact, think about if you couldn't put this in your deck for limited, how much of a feel bad is that? You open a rare lesson card and you're like, this is going to be great. And you either don't get learn at all, or it's in different colors. Like your lesson card is in black and you only get white and blue, or you get very few. So you're waiting to draw this one card that may or may not even do something you want, just to literally put this other card in your hand. That's a bit rough. But that is lesson and learn.
But also having a subtype on instants and sorceries when your other mechanic is about instants and sorceries, and that subtype not being able to be put into your deck would be like shooting yourself directly in the balls.
Hey, we want you to play with instants and sorceries.
But not these!
But not these. But this looks cool. It's kind of a new thing that we're doing, but we don't want these two abilities to work together because we don't know how to make card games. Yeah. So, all right.
But so that's learn. You go learn today. Yeah. You have to say that when you play your first learn. You go learn today.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the. No. I'm waiting for the card that says, a player of your choice learns, or target player learns. I'm just gonna look at Dirk and be like, Dirk.
Yep.
Learn. I'm just gonna lean forward and look him in the eye. I don't know why I find it funny. It just really. I'm gonna stop now, but it just. I don't know. It just struck me. Yes.
All right. Okay, so next up we have this one's an ability word, Magecraft, and Magecraft is a very short way to say, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell,
something happens.
Yeah. It's sort of a shame that they still wrote out whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, but
they have to with the way that ability words work.
No.
They couldn't have made it a keyword and just says Magecraft means whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell?
No, keywords have to do something in the exact same way every single time. It's the same reason why landfall is an ability word instead of a keyword. But
yeah, you think they could have finagled a rules way to say Magecraft Eager first year gets +1/+0 until end of turn. But I guess they're wanting to not have everything be obtuse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking, like, as far as saving words on the card, they failed miserably. But as far as being clear, it's very clear. Eager first year, 1 and a white. It's a 2/2 human wizard. It's common. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Boom. Nice and simple. And that's what they all do. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, thing happens. I'm guessing, yeah, here's another one. Here's the Archmage Emeritus, which says draw a card with Magecraft. Oh. Also, 2 blue, rare, 2/2. Human wizard. Everything's a cantrip when you're Emeritus. Emeritus? Is that how you say that?
That's how I think you say it.
Yep.
I've said it too many times in a row now, so it doesn't sound right in my head.
I believe that's correct.
It's
So-
emeritus, not emeritus.
Leviosa. Actually, in the Latin, it's emeritus. Die in a fire. Okay, anyway. Yeah, there's really nothing else to say. It's whenever you cast a spell.
I think it sounds good.
Yeah, it's just simple.
Pretty straightforward, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that learning and lessons are more geared towards limited, at least unless something ridiculous is revealed at some point. But Magecraft is... I think there's a higher chance of something with Magecraft making its way into Standard. Probably.
It feels like it's the one that could be most abused.
Yeah.
And thus make its way into Standard.
Exactly. But it's also like the eager first year is still a thing in Limited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure for several of these cards, it'll just be a slightly more fancy prowess, but...
Exactly, yeah. You know, something with wings that says, oh, it gets flying. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all of the usual Limited stuff that you see. All right. So then we have this new one that is an old one, but it's a new word, but it's an old one. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a new evergreen keyword for a thing that we've seen before. Sort of like mill, although that's not a keyword, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Is it? Isn't it?
Is mill a keyword?
I thought
No,
that made it a keyword.
It's a keyword action.
Ah, there we go.
Close enough.
Like shuffle or reveal or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is Ward. Could be Bert. Could be Cleaver. Yes.
Taking it back.
I am not old enough to get either of those, and yet here we are. Burt Ward was Robin on the old Adam West Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And Ward Cleaver is Beaver Cleaver's dad.
Bill Ward was the original drummer for Black Sabbath.
That is also true. Nope, I got nothing. I was gonna be like, Ward. No. Nope, I got nothing. Okay, moving on.
I mean, yeah.
So Ward is a defensive ability that has a cost after it. So the Waterfall Aerialist here for 3 and a blue is a 3/1 Jin Wizard with flying that has Ward 2. And what Ward means is whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player pays whatever the ward amount is, in this case, 2 generic mana. So nice and simple.
This could be keyworded because the result is always basically the same, and it's defined by some parameter in the way the keyword word is written.
There you go. But yeah, this is the thing we've been seeing for years. Now they've just codified it and given it a word. Nice and simple. I do like that it's countered unless the player pays 2, because sometimes it's countered and other times it's just, hey, this costs more if you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they went with this one. If I had to guess, I'd say because it's more digital friendly. Maybe?
I guess so you can actually... So the spell is actually cast, and that has other implications.
Oh, that's true. Especially when you've got Magecraft in the set.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you did there, Mike.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, yeah, that'd be really lame. Introducing Ward in the same set as Magecraft. And, you're sitting there playing a limited game, and you cannot physically cast your spells to target your opponent's creature. And you're like...
So, there's a question in the chat. Does this get around alternate costs and cost reduction? I think it's whatever. So I'm going to take a guess here.
It's something totally separate. Oh, sorry. You were going to take a guess.
Yeah, my guess is that you add in all of your cost reductions or alternate costs or whatever and get an amount, and then you add 2 to it.
Yeah, not even that. It's something that happens completely separately. Like you cast a spell for whatever it was going to cost anyway, then ward triggers, and then you decide whether to pay the ward cost for it.
Oh, I was thinking more end result, but yeah. Oh yeah, because ward is a triggered ability. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is going to be more digital friendly. It's going to pop up that, hey, you want to pay 2 more?
What will be the highest number we'll see on ward? I'm thinking 6.
I think after...
Jesus.
I think 4 might as well be hexproof.
Yeah, I'm being totally facetious. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, unless it's on some big creature that costs like 6 or 7 to begin with, because then that's late enough in the game where your opponent might have the extra mana required to do something meaningful. But yeah, 4 and above is basically hexproof, so I don't see anything. There might be a 4 somewhere, maybe not even in this set.
Now
maybe later.
It does point out that the cost can be mana, life, or pretty much anything else that can be a cost. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's like ward, I don't know.
Discard a card.
Yeah, discard a card, return a land to your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
2 life, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually pretty neat. Oh, you could see like a ward. Well, it won't say ward mill 2, but actually it would, wouldn't it? Because it's your opponent. I think mill only works against your opponent, right?
I mean, anyone can mill for any reason.
Yeah, there are cards that say, in fact, if a card says mill X cards, I think it's referring specifically to you, unless it says target opponent mills.
Oh,
yeah, so, there have been cards printed recently that tell you mill.
Yeah.
I didn't... Okay. I seem to remember... Now, granted, I haven't played any Magic at all since that became keyworded, but in my head it was such a way that mill always meant either you or your opponent, but I could be mistaken about that, clearly, since I haven't played any of them. Because I could have sworn I saw something that spelled out, like, you Oh no, mill means your library. If it just says mill 2, that's what it was, and it'll say your opponent mills 2.
Yeah.
If it's aimed at them. Okay, got it. It's got the understood you subject. Like learn. All right. Anyway, so there's a whole article about Ward that honestly I didn't read yet, but I think it's explaining why, because it starts with Swords to Plowshares and Black Knight, which means they're starting with protection, and then they went into Shroud, and then they went into Hexproof, and then more Hexproof, and then Ghostly Prison. What? And then Drana, Liberator of Malakir.
What?
I have no idea. I'm just scrolling down looking at the cards. And then Ojutai, which is that conditional hexproof. Oh, and then here's a bunch of cards with before Ward was a thing Ward.
I assume Frost Giant is on that list.
It is
Frost
not.
Titan.
No. What?
How could Frost Titan not be on the list?
You've got the link.
That doesn't mean I read it. We've been talking.
It's got Boreal Elemental, Terror of the Peaks, Tectonic Giant, and Swarm Shambler. And then they ended off with Ward. So yeah, it's just a like a history of trying to make it harder for your opponent to screw with your crap abilities, with the massive mistake that was hexproof and all of that. Oh hey, we've got a rare card with Ward at the bottom of this article, the Torrent Sculptor.
I haven't seen that before. What's it do?
I don't know, I've read like 4 cards. Someone else read one.
Hey, Dirk, you sometimes like blue cards.
Yeah, the Torrent Sculptor for 2 and 2 blue is a merfolk wizard that's rare and has power and toughness of 2/2. And it has ward of 2. When Torrent Sculptor enters the battlefield, exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Put a number of +1/+1 counters on Torrent Sculptor equal to half the card's mana value rounded up.
Oh yeah, mana value is a new thing. Instead of converted mana cost, it's just mana value, which is the same thing.
Yeah, I think it does sound snappier and a little easier to understand if you're not familiar with the concept.
Plus, it
already
eases up words on the card.
And it's also a double face card.
Hooah!
So if we flip it over, it flips over to show the Flamethrower Sonata. For 1 and a red, it's a rare sorcery. Discard a card, then draw a card. Then you discard an instant or sorcery card when you discard an instant or sorcery card this way, Flamethrower Sonata deals damage equal to that card's mana value to target creature or planeswalker you don't control.
Oh, this is really cool. So it's either an offensive burn card that uses mana value, or it's a defensive sort of creature that uses mana value to get bigger. Huh.
Now, if in terms of the graveyard, so if you use the sorcery side of this, if you wanted to get the card back, could you cast a sorcery return spell, or could you cast a creature return spell?
You would have to cast a creature return spell
because the main side of it is the blue side.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
for the double face cards, the front side is the side that exists at all times, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the side where the arrow's pointed up.
Yeah. The only time you use the back side is when you're specifically casting it that way. Okay. And if the back is a permanent, it'll if you cast it that way, it'll be that way when it's on the battlefield. But everywhere else and in every other situation, it defaults to the front.
Yeah, in hand, in library, in graveyard, in exile, it's front side only. Oops.
Okay.
But yeah. But this is really cool. When you have a nice big card in your hand that you don't want to cast or you're not able to cast or whatever, you can discard it with the Sonata as a removal spell. Or you can cast it and then later eat it with the Torrent Sculptor to make him go, whoa! That's neat. I always like neat design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right, so back to the mechanics article.
Right. So
now we've got cards. Right.
Yes, the modal ones, where you choose a side, much like the card that Dirk just described.
Exactly like, in fact.
Yeah. I actually haven't seen this card yet because I didn't look at the mechanics article. I just, watched the video. So this is Plarg. That may not be how it's pronounced, but that is how I'm pronouncing it from now on.
I'm pretty sure that's right. Plarg.
So, yeah. Plarg, Dean of Chaos. He's a legendary orc shaman, and they let this guy be a Dean here. Okay. For 1 and a red, he's a 2/2, so he's a bear. Orc shaman. He has tap, discard a card, draw a card. The rummage ability we were talking about earlier. Okay. And then he has another ability. For 5, 4 and a red, and tap, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary, non-land card with converted mana, with mana value 3 or less. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, which you just cast 5, spent 5, so that's cool. This could be an interesting way to, play cards of different colors. Put all revealed cards not cast this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. I'm very fond of Cascade-esque effects, so yeah, I think I can dig this.
Yeah. Also, Al, thank you for that 43-month resub. 43 months, what the hell? It's ridiculous.
And then, on the other side, we have Augusta, Dean of Order. A legendary...
get it? Order and Chaos?
Order and Chaos, yep. This costs 2 and a white for a 1/3 legendary human cleric. Other tapped creatures you control get +1/+0. Other untapped creatures you control get +0/+1. And whenever you attack, untap each creature you control, then tap any number of creatures you control. Whenever you attack, untap each creature you control, then tap any number of creatures you control. Basically, to have them end up at whatever side you want.
Yeah, whether you want them to get a power boost or a toughness boost.
Yeah.
That's actually really neat, too.
But look here what else it says. Whenever you attack. Not whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures. It just says whenever you attack, period. Is that new verbiage?
That's the same thing.
Is it? Well, I mean, it means the same, but...
You're asking if they've used that templating convention before?
Yeah.
Good question. Good question.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
I don't think it would matter for this one, would it? Well, I guess 1 or more creatures also doesn't matter, so...
Yeah, like they mean the same thing. What Brian is asking is this a new templating convention for rules text?
Right.
Instead of saying whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures, they tightened it up to this. The question is, when did they start doing that?
Much like mana value, it just feels like it saves a lot more space on the card if you don't have to spell it out that way every single time. So...
Yeah. And chat just pointed out what I was about to say. The untap ability it's not untap each attacking creature you control. It's untap each creature you control.
Yeah.
Which is sweet. Whether that creature is attacking or not, you can adjust to their power and toughness.
Right. And it assumes you want them all untapped, at least to begin with, which is probably a safe assumption.
Sure. It's probably... I mean, the other option would be to tap each creature you control and then untap the ones you want, which just seems dumb.
A little bit.
So yeah, these are neat.
Yeah. Hopefully the untap everybody part of that won't have too many unforeseen consequences, but we'll see.
I think it's going to have a lot of
You're not
consequences.
You're not implying that somehow they made a card and they don't foresee all possible outcomes and consequences for making a card. Do you?
Hey, I
No.
seem to have been wrong so far on the horn on the back of the storytelling god in Kaldheim.
So that's the mechanics article.
Oh, yeah, we're done.
But there were other cards spoiled. Why don't we back it up to what was spoiled previewed on Monday, though?
Well, yeah. So, okay, real quick. I do like that they're not piling 14 mechanics at us here. We've got a subtype on cards that already exist. We've got Learn, which only deals with that one subtype. We've got Magecraft, which is really simple. We've got Ward, which has been around for years, just without a word. And then we've got modal double face cards, which we've had in every set since they came out. So, like, nothing huge, nothing ridiculous. They didn't give, like, each college its own ability, like this is Ravnica or something. No. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. I wonder if within the framework of the game itself, if they're trying to just get away from just stupid, crazy stuff, where like you have to jump through these 15 different flaming hoops in order to activate this ability, because that's what the first Ravnica felt like. And then when they got around to the more recent ones, it's we're going to simplify it to this. And that's sort of what they're looking at doing, is we'll still do crazy stuff, but it's going to be a bit more conservative and not be, you have to put together the legacy weapon in order to...
I think they've realized over the years that mechanics don't need to be complicated. You can make individual cards complicated at higher rarities and it's fine, but if an entire mechanic works, like, let's say, for instance, Haunt, then that just puts people off and ratchets up your complexity without any real accompanying benefit. So I appreciate that. I talk a lot of crap about Wizards of the Coast in the current days, but I appreciate that they're trying to make things a little more user-friendly.
Yes.
So yay. But okay, so Brian wants to talk about... by the way, I'm totally stealing the professor because I want her in every conceivable way.
Well, then why don't you go ahead and get started with that?
Because she's fictional and she won't return my emails because she doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that all that's stopping you?
It is, yeah. All right, so we have Professor Onyx, who I read on Twitter and immediately retweeted, "Please step on me, Professor Onyx." Which is...
Is that the thing we do now? Ask people to step on us?
That's what they were doing with the 10-foot-tall vampire lady from the new Resident Evil.
That was probably because she was 10 feet tall.
But... Yeah, but I think it applies to Professor Onyx, too, in this particular case. So, Professor Onyx is a new planeswalker, sort of. For 4 black. She begins with 5 loyalty, and she's a legendary planeswalker, Liliana. Totally no one that we've ever seen before.
Yeah. Never seen this before.
Yeah, never. This is a new one. So, Professor Onyx has Magecraft. Yes. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I read that and I went, this needs to go in my Kervek deck.
I like this card.
Yeah.
Her +1 ability. Now that the Magecraft is just an ability. It's not a loyalty ability. +1. You lose 1 life. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 into your hand and the rest into your graveyard.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it. Works for me. -3. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm with it. And then the limit break, -8. Each opponent may discard a card. If they don't, they lose 3 life. Nice and simple. Repeat this process 6 more times. Oh my god.
Oh.
Well, that's why it's the limit break.
And that is the one that I read, and I immediately said, please step on me, Professor Onyx. Because that is sexy.
Like, she would be awesome in a rack deck.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one where you can set yourself up with only a little bit of trouble where it really does say you win the game.
Yeah. And that makes me happy. Oh yeah, and here's the alternate art.
That's a good one.
I kind of like the majestic sitting in her office hours professor myself.
It is. The basic art is better.
I do like the background on the fancy one.
Standing.
Yeah. But like I said, yeah, I want her in all meanings of the word. I want this card. I want, Mary Scrump Kill. Yes. Just, yeah. She's a floor wax. She's a dessert topping. So there you go. That is Professor Onyx, whose first name is apparently Lili Anna. Still don't know who. But yeah, so story thing that I didn't know. Apparently, after War of the Spark, Liliana felt guilty for Gideon saving her life and went off into hiding under, where no one would find her, not using her real name. So, hey, I think we found her.
Which,
maybe?
I mean, you're thinking to yourself, I want to go where no one can find me. And especially since, certain members of the Gatewatch were tasked with finding her and killing her. Do I go to A, a volcano, B, a cave, C, a plane that no one ever goes to, like a meditation plane, or D, a school for wizards?
Now, anyone that knows Liliana knows that she's probably not, like, a teacher would be the last place to look. That would be like, where would I hide out? Like a gun show? A church? A gun show at a church? Actually, a professor at a school for children, that would probably be a good place for me to hide, because... Fun fact, I was thinking of becoming a teacher at one point in the past.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work, and thank goodness. But anyway. So yay... hang on. There we go. Yay, Professor Onyx. So do we want to see this other new planeswalker?
Absolutely.
Excuse me.
Hey, Dirk, look at this thing.
The next one is Rowan.
No.
What? No, below that. Right next to Professor Onyx.
The March 22nd.
Well, I did by color.
Oh, for God's sake, Dirk.
Look for
Then
Kasmina.
gold.
Okay, gotcha. Kasmina. All right, so Kasmina Road for 1 green, blue. It's legendary planeswalker Kasmina. Okay, she says, or she has a loyalty of 2, and says each other planeswalker you control has the loyalty abilities of Kasmina Enigma Sage.
Okay, now let that sink in for a second.
It's kind of almost the opposite of how Bolas in War of the Spark, how he gained the abilities of all the other planeswalkers selfishly. She's just like spreading her knowledge to everybody else. Is there something else you said? Let that sink in. How long are we letting this sink in for?
No, that was it. Just
okay.
What the hell?
Well, and the fact that she has. Well, go ahead, Dirk. Keep going.
So for +2, she has Scry 1. Liliana can get there faster, or the Professor Onyx gets there faster with that first ability.
It's true. The fact that she gives all the other planeswalkers a +2, it's a fairly minimal impact +2. Like, the ability isn't super huge. But it's the fact that now, I mean, there's some planeswalkers that don't have a plus ability, you know?
Yeah, like all the uncommon ones from War of the Spark, right?
Yeah.
And that weird Sarkon.
Sarkon the Mad, yeah.
Sarkon the Mad's like phenomenal cosmic power.
Yeah, he really benefits from +2.
And getting the Scry. So for the second one, it has -X. Create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it. I think that's funny.
I know they didn't bring the word fractal into Magic.
Yeah, they did.
Great. Now Ian Malcolm is going to start playing Magic.
That's the college this is. It's the math one.
And nobody wants Ian Malcolm playing Magic.
Magic finds a way.
So, all right. Then the mythic or the limit break ability is -8. Search your library for an instant or sorcery card that shares a color with this planeswalker. Exile that card, then shuffle. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. I would hope that that would be the case at -8, but
you're right.
But here's the thing: she gives that ability to all of your planeswalkers. So she gives that ability to Lady Onyx or Professor Onyx or whatever Liliana's calling herself these days. So if you want to -8 her to go get a black instant or sorcery out of your deck, like, I don't know, Plague Wind or something, but something that's scary and black. Plague Wind's one of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all it has to do is share a color. It doesn't have to be that color.
Correct.
Yeah, like you can go find, with a red planeswalker, you can go find like a Cruel Ultimatum or something.
Because that was the thing I was thinking is, well, if she's the only one, then does it have to be green, blues? Like, no, it just has to be one of those colors. And it's good. Or if you have another planeswalker that's red, you can look for something that's got red in it. So I mean that the mythic or the limit break, that feeds well in with the the inherent ability.
Yes.
I really like the middle ability being spread out to other planeswalkers. All of them can
That's true.
make a buddy.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things we've talked about is planeswalkers being able to do cool things, but also being able to defend themselves.
Yep.
So the fact that she can do it, but then be like, oh yeah, and all my planeswalkers can do that.
Where are my planeswalkers at? Yeah.
Yeah, she
And
definitely is one that you want to play a lot of planeswalkers in a deck with her.
There are definitely also planeswalkers that get more loyalty than others. That's just a fact. And sometimes they have limit breaks that have absurd costs, or they just don't have a regular limit break. So here's a way to be like, oh yeah, this guy gets like 3 a turn anyway. Here's something to use it on.
Chat
I just
pointed
realized
out
that
Kiora for More of the Spark starts with 7 loyalty. Is that right? Holy crap!
I think the uncommon Nahiri from War of the Spark also starts really high.
Yeah, because they only go down. Usually.
Dun dun dun.
Well, the thing I was thinking about was, okay, let's say you have 5 planeswalkers out. That means
Okay.
you can scry 5 times.
Yes.
So your ability to dig through your deck for things that you want is just crazy stupid.
Or it just say, because each one is its own trigger, you may scry, throw it to the bottom, scry, keep that on top.
Yeah.
And then you're good. You don't need to keep doing it. So
Exactly. I'm in my head, I'm going, oh my gosh, Mike is gonna kill us.
that's probably a good
I can
thought
see
to
Mike
have
going,
most
I've
of the
got
time.
3 planeswalkers. No, yes, all right. And then he does an ability, like he stacks it in such a way that he leaves the planeswalker, the last one is the ones like, whatever ability, draw a card, and we're all going, oh, we're about to die. I just see it. I'm calling it now.
-8 on Karn. Ha ha ha. Wait.
Oh my god. Oh.
So Kasmina's cool.
Yep, I like it.
She's got a lot of fun abilities.
Yep.
Will she be in standard? Maybe.
Plus, it's nice to have a ginger who's not on fire.
I mean, yeah, she'll be in standard. She's legal.
What?
She's just got a bunch of animals with her.
You know what he meant.
I know what he meant.
All right, so then Dirk found the other one.
Yep, the other 2.
Well, the other one card. Dun
Yes.
dun dun. So hey, Mike, you
Now,
want to tell us about Rowan?
Although there is at least one more planeswalker in the set that we don't have a card for yet.
Oh, I was gonna say, really, where?
Well, they talked about it during the video, but we can come back to that.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so Rowan and Will are back, and they are on a modal double-faced card. The primary side is Rowan, Scholar of Sparks. For 2 and a red, Legendary Planeswalker, Rowan, Mythic, starts on 2 loyalty, and has a static ability. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast.
Nice.
That's cool. Just has 2 different loyalty abilities. The first one's a +1. Rowan deals 1 damage to each opponent. If you've drawn 3 or more cards this turn, she deals 3 damage to each opponent instead. And then -4, you get an emblem with, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may pay 2. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
So if you have that emblem out and you pay 2, Magecrafts will trigger twice, right? Because Magecraft is for cast or copy.
Yes.
So Magecraft will trigger for the cast and then again for the copy. If you pay the 2 for this.
Mhm.
Okay. just clearing that up real quick because it popped into my head to do so.
Yeah, so, Rowan only costs 3 and starts on 2 loyalty, so if you can protect her well enough, you can get that emblem fairly early in the game if you're really working at it. So
yeah,
that's cool if you can get it to work.
That
the
is
other
cool.
side, the secondary side is Will, Scholar of Frost, and that costs 4 and a blue, and starts on 4 loyalty. Will has the same static ability that Rowan does. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and has 3 different loyalty abilities. The first one is a +1. Up to 1 target creature has base power and toughness 0 to until your next turn. So, target creature becomes stupid until your next turn.
Hi.
-3, draw 2 cards.
That's really good.
I love drawing 2 cards. And -7, exile up to 5 target permanents. For each permanent exiled this way, its controller creates a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token.
Huh.
Yeah.
That
5 permanents is a lot, but replacing them with 4/4s is pretty hefty. So, I mean, you can do it to your own stuff and get an army.
Yep.
But I would be hesitant to be like, you have 5 things that I don't like. Boom.
Yeah, like,
and then they're like, okay, I now have 20 power. I'm be like, I did not think this through. So,
like I didn't need these 4 lands and this 1/1.
Yeah.
Also, does Will have a fish in there?
I don't know.
There might be a little fish in that ball of water he's holding.
I can't tell until I see bigger art, but I swear that looks like he's got like a goldfish in that ball of water.
I think it's the cloud from the background.
I think it's a ring of water.
Right.
And it's not a bubble. But in my mind, there will be a fish there. And then the alternate art for these is much more like bright and happy.
Yeah.
Like they both look so damn serious in the
standard one.
Yeah, the standard art. And like Rowan is like it looks like she wants to step on me, and then in the other one she looks all nice and happy.
Like this is her glamour shots picture.
I guess Will looks super serial in both of them, so
yeah.
Screw you, Will. He's up, bruh. Damn. So yeah, these are neat.
Mm-hmm. So if you had 2 copies or 2 cards of it, you could put down her. You can put her down, and then you could put Will down.
Yeah.
As a second one, because they're not the same legendary planeswalker characters.
Correct. And neither of these are like busted. They're both just solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She plays well into the mechanics of the set.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this makes me miss Mana Strike. Because Will and Rowan were awesome.
I did like the fact that you could like switch between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think they were my favorite planeswalker to use because of how their 2 abilities worked.
Now it's a fun fact, as I'm sure it's been mentioned several times already. Will and Rowan's sparks, it's debatable whether they have 1 or 2 or whatever because they're twins. ignited at the end of the Throne of Eldraine story. And as they planeswalk away, Garrick, who is just, spoiler alert, finally been freed from his curse, realizes he can continue his obsession with hunting down Oko, or realizing that the twins are going to need some mentoring, decides to planeswalk after them. So it's kind of this thought of how much is he mentoring them, and is he aware that they're at the school being taught by Liliana, his most favorite person in the entire world?
Totally favoritist.
I saw at least one comic where like he's dropping them off for school and he's going through the like car rider line and he sees her and he's like, you. So
yeah, I saw one where Will and Rowan were like, could you come to a parent-teacher conference with us? And he was like, sure. And then he gets there, Professor Onyx walks in, or they walk in Professor Onyx's office, and he's like, witch! Like, oh, it's good stuff.
Yep. The other planeswalker we have not seen, do you remember Luca from, what's the monster plane? Like the Godzilla. Ikoria, yeah. He's apparently here.
I do not remember him.
He was a guy. We had a debate. Lucca, I think.
I don't remember.
Nope.
Somebody in chat help me out.
Lucka.
Oh,
there's 2 Ks.
Oh, this guy. Okay, yeah. I just had to see him. All right. So Luca's gonna be on Strixhaven too, huh? Neat. Yes, Chifuji, I was thinking that too. All right. He said he lives upstairs. He lives in the room upstairs. Oh my god. Obscure references for the win. And that card that you asked us to look at is not here, Wolfie, so I guess we'll do that next week. So.
Yeah, we're going by the, like, as of right now, the Scryfall list does not have everything that was shown today.
Yeah. But that's okay. The card image gallery isn't up yet, so we'll just stick with this for today, and then next week we'll look at other stuff.
Yeah, right now the card image gallery still only has the commands in it.
Yeah. So check out Confront the Past in black.
Yeah, this was an interesting one.
Oh, the promo cards from the Mystical Arca. Oh, yeah, okay. So they're doing that thing where they throw crap that isn't in the set.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of old OP cards. And it's got a fancy border, and it's called the Mystical Archive.
I think we talked about those with the fancy swords and the fancy demonic tutor and whatever.
Yeah. I personally don't care about any of that. Like, I'm sure the art that some of those is going to be beautiful. Like the demonic tutor, I remember, is amazing. But, like,
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, they're expeditions, whatever.
Yeah, I'm to the age now where marketing stuff just sort of bounces off of me because I'm too cynical for it. At least blatant marketing things. So, yay, a new reprint of Dark Ritual. I've got like 50 Dark Rituals, whatever. Like, yeah. So, okay, yeah, check Confront the Past in black.
Yeah. So I haven't said a card in a while. So this can Confront the Past for X and a black. It is a sorcery. It is a lesson, so you can learn this. Do you too want to have horrifying images where your friends and family sacrifice their lives for you? Well then, come to Strixhaven and learn guilt. This is a
somewhere there's a Jewish mother going, I've been teaching that for years.
So, this is a rare lesson, and you choose one. Either return target planeswalker card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Ooh.
Or remove twice X loyalty counters from target planeswalker and opponent controls. So either get yours back or destroy theirs.
Twice X. That wording weirds me out.
Yeah. And the art has Professor Onyx looking into a mirror and seeing her in her traditional Liliana getup, as Gideon is sacrificing his life for her. And the flavor text says, "Why, Gideon? Of all people, why save me?" And
she's
the
having
answer is
serious survivor's guilt.
Yeah. So interesting. It's not a story spotlight card, but I mean, come on, if you've been playing for 3+ years, you know exactly what's going on here. So it's always good to see Gideon again. We haven't seen him in a while. He's looking slightly brighter than usual, but
yeah, I can't imagine why we haven't seen him in a while.
So I do like the little lesson icon at the top. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that with lessons earlier. Lessons have in the corner a little, an icon to let you know it's a lesson, sort of like the old tombstone that was on flashback cards 1,000 years ago.
That's exactly what it reminded me of. So, but
it's a nice little like when you're flipping through your cards, you go, oh, that's a lesson, without having to look at the type line.
Right. Yeah. There's another lesson here. I think there's just one other one that's been revealed so far.
Pest Summoning, yeah.
Yeah. For when you need to summon up some pests.
All right, so Pest Summoning for 1. What? And 2 black-green hybrid. Is this the first?
I think it's the first hybrid symbol we've seen in the set. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
And it's so 1 and 2 black-green hybrid, which means it's, oh god, what is it? Wither Bloom?
Yep.
Is that right? Hey, from memory. It's a common lesson. It's a sorcery. Create 2 1/1 black and green pest creature tokens with, when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. And the flavor text is, step 1, put the pests in mud. Step 2, wait.
Yeah.
And that's from
Geome's? Yeah,
Geome's Guide to Pest Breeding. I like the way that the one pest looks like it's a purple pest in a costume.
Yeah.
In the art. Like, who dresses up a pest? There's someone listening right now that just looked at their dog who's wearing an outfit and they went, So
time to rethink my life choices.
But the whole point of the pest is for them to die, so why bother dressing it up? That was not. I hope the whole point of your dog isn't to die. That's just depressing on so many levels. Please don't. Dress it up all you like. But this one, the whole point is to get stepped on and gain you a life. So.
Yep. So as far as the spell, I mean, 3 mana, make 2 guys that are there to not only get in the way of something, but to get you some life. This is essentially a tempo. And because it makes 2, I mean, I could see a token deck just wanting to get 2 more guys on the board. So if you're intending to swarm them, works really well.
Oh. Look,
and it's in green and black.
It says Watermark Witherbloom on Scryfall here. Whoops. I didn't even see that. I was just trying to remember. But it's on the screen, so whatever. Shut up.
each of the schools has an apprentice. It's an uncommon creature that reminds me a lot of the guild mages from Ravnica, except instead of having like, here's an ability with this color, here's an ability with this color, it more just kind of, they all have Magecraft, and they do something that kind of is symbolic of their school or ties into their school somehow. We want to just knock these out real quick?
Yeah, sure. So who's in Lorehold here?
Dirk was gonna be in Lowerhold.
And Mike is sorta in Lorehold?
Yeah, Mike.
So Mike, I guess you win that one.
Yeah.
Sure. It's the Lorehold Apprentice, red and a white for a 2/2 uncommon human cleric. The Magecraft ability is, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, until end of turn, spirit creatures you control gain tap. This creature deals 1 damage to each opponent.
To each opponent.
Each opponent.
Which is what Rowan said too.
Yeah. That could be really interesting. You get out 2 or 3 spirits before, not talking nuts numbers, but 2 or 3 spirits, and then you cast an instant or sorcery and tap them all to, especially instant, you can do it during the opponent's turn. Tap to nuke each opponent. Okay.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's Lorehold. Okay.
Yes.
Next up is Prismari. Who, I guess I'm the closest we have to Prismari.
Probably.
So the Prismari Apprentice for a blue and a red is a 2/2 human shot. Are these all the same?
They're all 2/2s.
They're all 2/2 humans.
Colors.
Huh, okay. So the Prismari Apprentice for a blue and a red, blah blah, is a 2/2 human shaman, and their Magecraft is it can't be blocked this turn. And if the spell has mana value 5 or greater, the spell that triggered your Magecraft, put a +1/+1 counter on Prismari Apprentice.
Because it makes for a better show that way.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. Yeah.
So it's one of those cards that's good in the early game, but it has a little bit of increased value in the later game, which I always appreciate.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
And if you're playing high impact spells, that 5-cost instant or sorcery is probably having some big effect, and then this guy's getting unblockable and getting bigger. It's really winding down the clock on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what costs 5 and is a blue instant or sorcery? Time Warp.
Oh, we should do that again.
Which would let you then attack next turn with a bigger apprentice. It's also one of the showcase cards.
Wait, what is?
Time Warp. It's in the
Oh,
collection
the archive.
Yeah. Right.
Fancy.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Sorry, when you said showcase card, my brain went to Story Spotlight, and I went, huh? No. All right. Quandrix Apprentice. Quandrix. All right, I'll read that one too. Because my degree actually is Quandrix, thank you. As we discussed earlier. For green and a blue, this one is a human wizard. 2/2. Magecraft, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a land card from among them and put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in any order. In any order. Now, why is this one in any order instead of in a random order?
Because they're smarter than everybody else.
I guess because there's 2 of them. And maybe it's just as a secret, like, ooh, look at you.
Oh, there are just 2 of them, yeah. Well, no, there could be 3.
Yeah, there could be 3.
It just, they made a point of saying that putting things on the bottom in random order was going to be the new standard, and then here's a card that doesn't do that.
They are always free to change their minds about everything forever.
I guess in a specific order is more on brand for the Quandrix school.
That could be an argument made, yeah.
Order.
Yeah, it's calculation.
It also wouldn't surprise me if this is just a thing that got missed. Given how sloppy WotC has been with some fine details on semi-rare occasion.
Yeah, but regardless, I really like effects like this. They're great.
No, it goes on the bottom of your library, Mike, not in the graveyard.
No, I'm talking about getting a land in my hand.
Oh, okay.
Get a land in your hand, yeah.
Yeah. Cast a spell, get a land. That separate from that is pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next,
we do have the Silver Quill Apprentice. White and a black for a 2/2 human. This one's a warlock. And the Magecraft is target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn.
ooh, target creature.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So combat shenanigans.
Oh, I like that.
I like the flavor text. She had spoken the words 100 times, but under the spotlight, in front of everyone, something new emerged, and the crowd went wild.
I was about to say, it kind of looks like it's a underground, like
it's a poetry slam. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she did so well, she got an extra power.
Oh, she's a damn beatnik. Boo!
She's speaking truth to power, man.
All right, but the first time she calls me Daddy-O, I'm doomblading her ass. Sorry, no, she's black and white. Murder. Anyway.
So the last apprentice is the Witherbloom Apprentice. So for black and green, it's a human druid. That's uncommon. It's a 2/2. And Magecraft says whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1.
Ooh. Naturally, I like that too. It's very much a me thing.
Mm-hmm. So I've already seen one infinite combo with this.
Oh. Well, that's neat.
Yeah. That's why we can't have nice things, because we have to, break everything the minute that we see it. Step 1, play Witherbloom Apprentice. Step 2, you remember Chain of Smog? It only costs 1 and a black.
Play Chain of Smog on yourself?
Target yourself and just copy it over and over again.
What's Chain of Smog
again? Target player discards 2 cards. Then that player may copy this spell. They may choose new copies for the spell. It doesn't say that you have to have cards to discard. So
I guess Chain of Smog goes infinite with every Magecraft card.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is just one that is in black and allows you to win the game with it. But, yeah.
Yeah, someone in the chat mentioned earlier that Onyx went infinite with it, and I just sort of ignored that. Because I don't care about infinite combos.
I think I saw this one mentioned because both the components are so dang cheap. So
yeah, Chain of Smog costs what, 2, 3?
2. 1 and a black. And this only costs 2, whereas Onyx costs something that's not 2.
48.
6.
Yeah.
6, yeah.
Might as well be 48 as compared to 2. So okay. So those are the apprentices.
They're pretty neat.
And we want to talk about the lands and then kind of call it there. There's also a dragon here, but we've only seen the one, and I don't remember.
So yeah, what were these lands called?
Snarls.
What? I hate you.
Snarl.
I hate you so much.
They were.
These weren't the Tango lands, were they?
They were the show lands. Is that what people called them?
Show lands?
I don't remember what name they had.
The original ones in what set were they even in?
Was it an Innistrad?
I think
I can see, or
they were
was
in
it,
the Return to Innistrad, right?
or was it Mirrodin, like Scars of Mirrodin? No, those are the fast lands. They wanted you to have little. Shadows over Innistrad is what we're seeing in the chat, and that sounds right. I don't have information that it's wrong anyway.
Ooh, hang on. I can look. Expansion, Shadows, add, type, land, add, search. Yes, I'm reading out what I'm doing because this is an audio podcast too. No, it's cool, Gatherer. Take your time. Yep. Yeah. That's where they were from. Because here's the Choked Estuary and the Foreboding Ruins.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I remember reading one smart Alex suggestion that since you reveal basic lands from your hand to make them work, they should be called the basic lands.
But yeah, so these are the ones that when it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a basic land of the proper color. You know what I mean?
No, just something one of those types, not necessarily basics.
Sorry, something with that basic type, not the basic super. Okay, look, for the red blue, and you reveal an island or a mountain. All right. And if you don't, then it enters the battlefield tapped.
Right. I think we still have
it taps for one or the other.
In standard. We still have the triomes from except whatever I can't remember. Ikoria. Why do I keep thinking that's something else? And from Ikoria, and I feel like we have other duels as well, but I can't remember from where. Maybe a core set. So yeah.
And these are all really pretty.
Yeah, they are.
Who did this art? Sam, I can't read that. Burley. Like, they're all very smooth and loopy and awesome. I really like the Shine Shadow Snarl, the white-black one.
Yeah, that one's pretty.
That is the hotness.
And the Frost Boil is right up there, too. So, I mean, they're all great, but those are probably my two favorite.
No, it's cool. Scryfall, take your time. There we go. Stupid card database sites. Okay, well, we should really talk about this one mythic, though.
Yeah. So apparently each of the schools is named after the dragon that founded it. And this is Shadrick's Silver Quill, who founded the Silver Quill School, obviously.
Roll credits.
For 3, a white and a black, is a 2/5 legendary Elder Dragon. And the art is just awesome.
It's true.
So it's a 2/5 for 5. Has flying, of course, because it's a dragon, and it has built-in double strike.
Ooh.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may choose 2, and it has several bullet points below. Each mode must target a different player. First mode, target player creates a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. Second mode, target player draws a card and loses 1 life.
Ooh.
And third, target player puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature they control.
I really like the tension on this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
because you either like in a 2-player game, you either do something that's good for you, and unless you've managed to work around it, do something that's good for your opponent, or you don't do anything.
Right. Or like you said, you could have a workaround. If I'm attacking Chewie, maybe if Chewie doesn't have any creatures, or he
Yeah.
has just very few creatures, that last ability to me feels the most dangerous. But if they don't have creatures or they have very few, might be safe. That middle one, it's always dangerous to let people draw cards, but there's life loss there, and you're attacking with a double striker, so that might add up. And then the last one or the first one, because I'm reading them backwards, kind of stinks because that is almost certainly going to block your dragon or whatever your biggest creature is. But if you're pounding away at them and maybe all of your stuff is getting bigger, a 2/1 is not gonna it's gonna chump and then die. But then you get to multiplayer, and Chewie's the big problem. So I go to Mike and I'm like, "Hey, Mike,
You want to draw a card?" And Mike's like, "Yes." But Mike,
Yes.
you're at 2. Yes.
Still want to draw."
Mike, you're gonna take 1 during your upkeep. Yes.
Actually, this is pretty easy because I know you guys. So if I'm playing Silver Quill, Mike is always going to get to draw a card. Dirk is always going to get to put +1/+1 counters on his creatures because he's always going to have more creatures than everybody else. So Chewie, I guess you're getting Inklings.
Yeah.
Which, use them for whatever you want.
So you're choosing to use this in a way that just ensures Dirk wins?
That also sounds like how every game we play works. Because inevitably we're like, Dirk's doing okay. He's not the big threat. Hey, Dirk, have this thing that will help you win. And he's like, thanks. You're all going to die now. And we're like, how did we not see this coming again? You may not remember because it's been like over a year since we played, but I'm pretty sure that accounts for about 98% of the times that Dirk wins is us, aiding and abetting.
Yeah.
So not only do you have to look at what your opponent would do with these, but you have to look at what you would do with these. So getting an extra flyer is always good. Like, drawing a card is always good. And then putting counters on your stuff will literally always be good because you've got a 2/5 flying double striker.
Yes.
In addition to whatever else you've got.
Right.
So, like, every combat is going to be a bit of a head scratcher where you have to, okay, wait, hang on. If I'd give you, no. Well, I want to, hang on. Do I risk letting you draw a card? Oh, God. Like, I really like this card.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome. I'm really curious to see what the other Elder Dragons do.
I'll say, do they all do this stuff like this? Do we know?
We don't know yet.
I don't know.
I'm not even sure where this one was previewed because it was not previewed on the live stream. I hope it was legit.
Well, since we've got both versions.
Wizards of the Coast, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it
So,
is.
It must have gone up on Twitter or something.
Or maybe it was in a marketing email or something.
Well,
maybe.
Did you watch both parts of the stream? Because usually they do too.
I watched what I thought was the whole thing. And I waited until the end this time in case there were, like, Warren Collects shenanigans at the end. So I waited until literally the whole thing was done.
Fair enough, because I know once you watched, like, the Jimmy Wong and Becca Scott, goofy whatever thing, and then you stopped, and there was a whole other thing after that.
That was just the Warren Collects.
No, I mean, this was several sets ago. There was a whole other chunk of the stream that explained mechanics and stuff, and you were like, oh, I didn't see that.
That sounds like something I would say. So.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
Yeah, I believe you. I just don't recall. Well, shall we stop here?
Yeah, we should probably stop there.
Okay.
There's neat stuff going on here.
Yes.
Oh, real quick. Pop quiz. 2 and a blue, instant, common, draw a card, learn.
And I like the flavor text. You see the flavor text?
Today is Hydromancy? I thought it was Amplemancy. I studied for Amplemancy. You're going to learn today. And also the Professor of Symbology, who's a core. They're a core in this set. For 1 and a white, a 2/1 core cleric, uncommon. When Professor of Symbology enters the battlefield, learn!
Say, all right, class, pull out your books. Today you're going to learn.
Learn!
It's so straightforward. I just love it. I really love it. They could not have named it anything better, in my opinion.
Draw a card. Learn!
Hey, I guess if you scroll down a little bit, that first green card, that's actually the buy a box promo. The dragon.
I
something.
completely missed this card entirely.
I already closed mine out, so I'm just watching you on Twitch, which is funny because there's people watching us on Twitch, so I'm watching people watch us on Twitch. So somebody else tell us about this card while I have an existential crisis.
So we need to get Carrie to come over so she can stand over your shoulder and watch people watch us on Twitch. And then the dog will look up at her and watch her watch you watch people watch us on Twitch. And oh god, my brain is coming out.
I think at that point reality would fold on itself.
All right, well, no one else is reading it. The Dragon's Guard Elite for 1 and a green is a 2/2 human druid. That's rare. And its Magecraft is put a +1/+1 counter on Dragon's Guard Elite. All right, so whenever you cast or copy instants or sorceries, she grows. That's cool. But then for 4 green, you can double the number of +1/+1 counters on her. Whew.
Yeah, and she only costs 2. And usually when you have some sort of grow effect like that, there might be an additional cost, like pay 1 or whatever, but it's just straight up get a +1/+1 counter. This is going to get really big, like really fast before you even get to that 6 mana.
There's a version that says buy a box, but then there's a version that's looks like it's in the set.
Huh.
Because the other art says 127 out of 275.
Oh, so they're not doing... If they're doing buy box promos that are cards that are actually in the set, I like that idea.
Yeah, I like that more, honestly.
I didn't read this flavor text before, though, because I didn't have time during the live stream. I wonder what the Blood Age was. It sounds violent.
The Founder Dragons brought the Blood Age to an end. It is an honor to serve them. You know, that's the age when blood.
There was a lot of blood, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before the dragons made a bunch of schools.
maybe it was some kind of civil war or whatever, and they're like, you know what? Learn. Today's lesson is, and the lesson card says, stop killing each other. And the flavor text and the text is just all players in their turn.
Gonna learn today. All right. Well, there you go. So that's the second look at Strixhaven. Because the first look was the commands we got several weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
This looks neat.
I agree.
We don't have the like chat just said, we don't have the Harry Potter like Hogwarts thing that a lot of people were concerned about when they were like, "Oh, a magical school."
Yeah.
Well, I'll go first with my final thought and everything.
Yeah, no dying.
So, Monday I get my second COVID shot. So, we'll find out if Tuesday I'm good, or if Tuesday's going to be I call in like I feel like crap. Which Tuesday is also the last day I have students before spring break. So if I'm hoping that I can just push on, muscle through and everything, because 2 of my 3 classes have a test that day. So hopefully I can just show up, do my thing, and then just bounce.
I am also getting my second COVID shot next week, and I'm getting it at a time that I should be done, hopefully, with court on Thursday. and then Friday is Good Friday. So I too may be at home just being like, bleh. If necessary. Half the people I speak to that have gotten their second shot had no ill effects, and the other half had to be out of work for a day or two. So,
oh, that reminds me. Update. Last week, when we did the whole big, vaccine section at the beginning of the episode, I mentioned that the parents had no negative side effects. It turns out later that night, I lied. Mom told me that her entire arm and so one of her legs, or maybe both of her legs, I don't know, her extremities itched. Not like bad. And she took some Benadryl, and that helped the first couple days, and after that she didn't even need to take the Benadryl. But she got itching in her extremities. And she said, literally the only thing different that I've done is get the shot, so that's got to be it. And I went, huh. Again, it wasn't bad. There was no, rash or anything, because I asked, I'm like, did you get the COVID arm? She said, I'm sorry, what? I was like, is it red? And she went, I don't get, honey, is this red? And he went, is what red? And she's holding up her sleeve going, really? He's like, your arm? Yes, my arm. No. Thank you. And I'm just on the phone just giggling my ass off. They're such an adorable married old ass couple. But yeah, so I just wanted to update people that I lied last week, although I didn't know it at the time. I found that out the next day. So yeah. Still not a bad side effect, but it was a side effect, so. And they got the Pfizer shot. Yeah. My arm stopped being sore after, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. So
mine was sore for about just a day, maybe a day and a half, but I had nothing other than just that arm particularly. Just it felt only sore where the shot was. So we'll see how it goes with the second round. But I've also heard that there were a bunch of people who were like, no, I mean, it didn't do me too much. And then other people who were, that just had the chills and they just felt really crummy. So, well, I am going to bounce because I got to go to bed. So I will see you guys later.
Night, Zerk.
Okay.
All right, see you later.
Night. So for my final thought, set looks interesting. I drift in and out of Magic a little bit. I always tell people when I play, you hear about players invariably taking breaks from Magic every now and then. Unless you count just times between when I see the guys or when I go to tournaments, not that I've done that for a year. I generally haven't really taken a dedicated time off from Magic since 2002. So I've been playing on and off. It's been a lot harder lately, but so even though not every set is my favorite set, I still enjoy the game. It's a very well-made game. And now that Arena is on my phone, I'm going to have to make sure that I'm just regulating that. I think I'll be fine. It's not like I can literally do it all the time. And sometimes it depends on how inspired I am to build a deck. But I'm glad that's on there. And now I can maybe play some more Magic. I don't think I've said this during the show proper, but I did attempt to download Magic Legends, and my fairly bare bones computer couldn't handle it. So now I'm just going to wait for it to come out on PS4. So yeah.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah, it'll be released on PS4 and Xbox One sometime this year. I don't know if they will wait for the beta to be finished or not, or if they'll be included. But as of right now, they're not available on those consoles.
I think I missed that, or I'd forgotten since I don't have either of those consoles. Cool.
So, and then on a personal level, work has been kind of crazy lately, and I have moved some cases that I've been wanting to move for a while, but always more to do. So
now, moved means
completed.
Okay.
Finished. Yeah. I get that could be a confusing term because usually when cases get pushed back, I use the term continuance or continued. When I say moved, I mean like moved off of my desk, like that file is done. And I'm glad to see some work finished because some stuff is still very much hanging out from last year or even slightly before, thanks to stuff being closed down for so long. So, but it's one thing I have is pretty decent job security. Things keep going through the courts, so yeah. Um, that's pretty much it for me. Everything's pretty much on the up and up. Dog is sitting. He's trying to eat a toenail. Might be time to trim those.
Is he watching you watch them watch us?
Now he is. He would have been asleep. Now he's looking at me and wagging because he sees me looking at him. I should probably go too. I love hanging out with you guys, but I didn't get much sleep last night. So, good night, everybody.
Night, B.
Good night.
Dog. It's just fun to say.
Mm-hmm.
There was a dog named Dog in Good Omens.
There was.
Aha. All right, good night.
If you ever want to read the book, let me know. You can borrow mine.
Okay. Is it a book or a graphic novel?
No, it's a book. It's by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett.
I feel like I know those names.
Neil Gaiman did Sandman and American Gods and various other things that you may or may not be familiar with, and Terry Pratchett did Discworld.
Right. So I've heard of those things. I knew those names. I just haven't read the works. So, all right. Good night, guys.
I refuse to say goodnight again. Oh, now he's gone. Okay. So, hey, buddy.
Hey. Yeah, connected to Brian's thought. I don't think I'd ever taken a break from Magic ever since I first learned until this past year. You know, the most I've done is get on the podcast and talk about it. It's like I don't even own any cards from Ikoria or Kaldheim or the last core set. It's just like, yeah, it's surprising. I do want to play again. I don't know if I'll be as much in it when things are normal again. But we'll just have to see.
It's so weird having all of you guys be in the same or a similar situation that I've been in for years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is strange.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Oh, I've been watching a TV show. It's a at some point last year, or the year before, she says I should play Arena. Maybe, I don't know. At some point last year, the year before,
could play Arena. Like your
I don't know. I
laptop
haven't
sort
looked
of
up
freaks out with Hearthstone.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of crummy with Hearthstone. I need to look at the specs for Arena. My laptop is starting to get up there in years. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Sometime last year, the year before, Ashley and her sister got into watching Korean dramas on Netflix. And she and I have been watching one recently. It's like she watched the last part of this series. Well, she started watching the last part of this series with her sister, so now she's going back and watching the beginning parts to catch up on parts of the story she missed. It's called Bride of Havoc. It's a story where the god of water gets stranded in the real world somehow in present-day Seoul, South Korea. And he ends up finding a down-on-her-luck psychiatrist who happens to be from a long line of humans who had an ancestor who made a special pledge to the gods to be the water god's servant. So they get attached to each other and they start falling in love later on in the season. Spoilers, and hijinks ensue, and it's a pretty good show actually.
It'd be kind of an awful show if hijinks didn't ensue.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a show where hijinks didn't ensue?
I think I've seen some.
Now that you mention it, I think I have
kind of
too.
blue. Yeah.
They didn't last very long.
No. Oh, now I'm getting called out in chat for how I pronounce that. Seal.
I heard that too, and I was just going to let it go.
Wow, did I really freaking say that?
Yeah, you said seal.
Wow, gosh. I'm surprised.
Or sail? Seal? I think you said seal, yeah. Isn't it just soul?
Yeah, it is, and I knew that, but I screwed it all up for some reason.
It's because you were busy formulating the rest of the sentence, and your brain just sort of read that out and kept going.
Yeah, my bad.
Chad just can't let something go, can it?
Nope, they can't. They found the crack in my armor, now they're going in for the kill here.
See, it's no fun to make fun of Brian when he mispronounces things, because then you'd never stop. But for Mike,
Gosh.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it. I'm just glad the chat is tormenting someone other than me for a change.
Yeah, there you go. I got your back.
See, and for everyone listening later, you could be there live and make fun of Mike on the spot.
You missed out on your limited edition Mike mocking experience. We could clip this and sell the NFT of it for big bucks.
Oh God, I hate you. All
right, that's it.
I was gonna say, whether you know it or not, you're done. So. Excuse me. Who's dying? It's me. So, hey, don't forget, you can go to patreon.com/themanapool and sign up to become a lifeguard. Get you the odds and ends and the early access stuff and this and that and the other. And the sponsorship shout out. So, hey, let me be sure to thank... Oh, let's do it in, I don't know, this order? Sure. We will thank Connor Kennedy, Al, Team Uhellas Are You, The Beastfather Aaron Goodwine, Scuzzo, PJ McMullen, Beardy Man, John Parker, Jason Kaus, Casey, Jeff Spencer, Jake Jansens, Mr. Dr. Lewis, Jason Doan, Andrew Hunt, Gothic Man, Kim Ho, Cody Buckowing, ALK Alters, and Aleph Cat. I think that was reverse alphabetical by email address, weirdly enough. Huh. So yes, thank you to our mythic lifeguards and to all of the lifeguards at every tier, because you quite literally, pay the rent, which I appreciate because I need somewhere to live. Al, as for me, dude, have I told you that my parents have finally gotten into binging things?
Yes, I think you mentioned that to me.
I got them a Fire Stick with accounts for various streaming services on it, like for 2 Christmases ago. Not the Christmas we just had, no, the one before that. And then finally last year they sort of started using it. And now this year they are binging the hell out of things. They ran through the entirety of The Blacklist on Netflix in I want to say 3 weeks.
Wow.
It's got 7 seasons and each episode is 45, 48 minutes long or however long, It's an hour on network television. They're they are killing it. I asked them yesterday, or no, today, when I called to check in. So what are you guys binging now? Mom's like, I think we're going to watch Arrow. I went, the CW show? She said, yeah. I was like, Green Arrow? She goes, yeah. I was like, and the old man's going to watch that? She went, it was his idea. I was like, what? So apparently I don't know my parents as well as I thought I did. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that because it's adorable. After over a year of owning this thing, they finally are putting it to real good use. Holy crap. Mom's like, we work on the puzzle for a while, we watch some episodes, then we work on the puzzle for a while, then we eat dinner, and then we watch some episodes. I'm like, whoa. They're so cute. So, yeah, over on YouTube, what's going up? The Final Fantasy is going up. That is Final Fantasy 1 compressed, just like the important bits. 2 episodes are up now. I think, yeah, the second one went up, I think, yesterday. And it's just, like I said, the important bits. I get the feeling that the entire third stream is going to be compressed into one video, probably. So, maybe 2, but it's looking like it's probably 1. I just started it today. I didn't get finished because I've got 3 hours of stuff to go through. Most of that was getting lost in a... well, not most, but a good chunk of that stream was getting lost in a bonus dungeon that's in the PSP version that's not in the versions I've played. And then dying horribly. So, but it didn't count as dying. It just sort of spits you back out and was like, all right, on your way. I was like, what? So, it's all very strange, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I play Final Fantasy on Fridays. I still haven't decided if I'm going to run through, like, all of the old Final Fantasies or just play the ones I already know and love. I haven't made that decision yet. I'll make that decision once I finish the first one. So, yeah. Also, Shovel Knight King of Cards. I finished that on stream here on Twitch, and that is going up on YouTube at the moment as well. I also had a door-dashing story go up as a Chewie vlog. That was a hell of a story. I think that's the one I told you after the show last week, Mike.
Yes. You did tell me.
Yeah. So that's what's going up on YouTube right this minute. I tried to play more Slay the Spire on stream, and I had the most frustrating series of runs ever. I was trying to play the defect, and I could not get all of the pieces of the deck I was trying to build, but I would get the pieces that I missed in the next run, and I was not a happy Chewie. I was like, oh, if I could get like one copy of Scrape, this deck would really come together. Slay the Spire is a deck building game, for those of you that don't know. If I could just get one copy of Scrape, this whole deck would come together. And I never got it, and it died. And then the next game, I kept finding that like offered up in the shop or as a card reward at the end of a fight. I'm going... Or I tried to build the Powers deck, and I couldn't find a copy of Storm. And I made it all the way to the third boss, who is the one that gets stronger when you cast Powers. I was like, but without a copy of Storm to keep zotting him, it didn't work. And it died, and I got mad. And then the next run, the second card that I added to my deck was Storm, and I was like, now we got it! And I couldn't get the other cards that I had in the last... It was frustrating. It was... It was fun, though, because I love playing the defect, but damn it. Just could not make it come together. So I don't have another Slay the Spire video to go up on YouTube. Working on it, though. But okay. I guess that's it. And as for... I must be in a good spot mentally. Because a few days ago... I was store dashing, and I've been listening to music for a while, like I said in the music episode, instead of podcasts. And the song "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" by the big Hawaiian guy, whose name I can't pronounce, is.
Yeah, we know you.
Yeah, is. But that song came on, and I sang along with it, and then the song ended, and I was not a horrible, crying, blubbery mess. Which, that song always, especially if I'm singing along, turns me into a horrible, blubbery, crying mess. So most of the time I skip past it when I'm dashing because I don't want to get to a customer and be like, here's your food. Like, that's just not right. But no, I got through the whole song just singing along, and then it was over, and I was like, something's wrong. Oh! That's when I realized I must be in a pretty okay place in my head, for once. There's hope in there again, which is the thing that's been missing for far too long. So, yeah, I just thought I'd share. That made me happy. Yay.
Great.
Yeah. But now we're going to go for real. So this has been episode 617 of the Mana Pool. Thank you all so very much for joining us. And, what are they called? Colleges? School? Which Strixhaven college are you? School? College? I don't actually know what the right word is.
I don't remember.
I don't either. So which Strixhaven place are you?